what's going on, everyone? Dan the Glassman here. Welcome back to the Glassman's World. So check it out, guys. I just saw this morning. They finally did it. And look at America's first car-free city by CNBC television here. 327K views so far. So let's click on this link, and you guys can see
why does anyone wear
exactly what we got to do here. So hold on a second. Let me just click out of that. So this is a look at America's first car-free city, and it's by CNBC television. So you can see it here. 6.8K subscribers, and basically they talk about joins Power Lunch to report on America's first car-free city. So this is America's first car-free city. They put this out February 14th, guys. So this is actually 10 days old now. So let's join this individual here, and I guess we're gonna join them in their PowerPoint discussion or whatever it is here. Let me try to get this all the way to 0. All right, here we go. Oh.
Seeking more social, as more Americans work from home, they're changing the way they live, seeking more social, walkable communities. Are they willing to give up their cars entirely? One real estate developer is making a bet that in Tempe, Arizona, they will.
Tempe, Arizona, guys.
Real estate correspondent Diana Oleg. Hi, Diana. Hey, Contessa. Yeah, this new $170 million rental community has all the amenities: the fitness center, the dog park, the outdoor kitchens. Well, what it does not have is cars. Cul-de-sac is the first community in the U.S. designed specifically for
remember, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
He said it's what Americans want.
The Great Reset. Welcome.
In the U.S., we've been building the wrong kind of housing for 100 years. We've built sprawl, and it's created car dependency, and it's made us lonelier, less healthy, and less happy. And what people want is to live in walkable neighborhoods.
Now, retail, restaurants,
you know, it'd be nice if they turn all those
in the first phase,
rooftops
no
into gardens.
No parking, no garages, no parking spaces, so more space for social areas.
A little more greenery would be nice.
Located right next to the area's light rail system, all residents get a free pass. The first 200 also get a free electric e-bike, and a partnership with Lyft gets them discount rides. Now, those are the partners. Investors in Cul-de-sac's $30 million Series A include Lennar, one of the nation's largest home builders, and Khosla Ventures and Founders Fund. As part of the community, First Floor Studios...
These are all companies you'd probably want to invest in on the stock market if you do that sort of game.
It's not as affordable out here as it was a few years ago, you know, and having that opportunity to live and work where you are and just have it as one, that's perfect.
Now, walkable neighborhoods are, of course, all well and good when the weather is fine and lovely like it is now, but in Tempe, Arizona, in the summer, it can be well over 100 degrees for weeks at a time. So the summer will be the real test to see if this idea can go the distance. Back to you guys.
But it's interesting because it might be the first planned
being out in the heat
to forbid cars or parking or whatever, but lots of people live without cars. I mean, look at New York City. So the advantage.
So what's going on, Wesley?
That, yeah, you can go out and just walk to where you need to go and use mass transit.
Hold up. So I'm covering this a look at America's first car-free city here by CNBC television, and it's going to be just a real quick stream right here. Just wanted to go over this, let y'all know that they have implemented the very first 15-minute city right here in Tempe, Arizona, which means it's carless, walkable living. It's right along the main transit, so you can get to and from everywhere.
I mean, Phoenix is a car town. Tempe is a car town, and it's not like that light rail gets used very much. Well, actually, it does seem to get used a lot by the people who live here, and that's the idea. Is it's a test run. Look, is Phoenix going to give up its cars forever? No, this is a city of sprawl, and some of the people I talked to said, you know, one guy said he actually moved out of Arizona because he couldn't stand being so car dependent and living in all that sprawl. Moved back, moved here because he liked this idea. So the idea is more that they're offering you other options because society is changing toward that shared transportation. They're not.
So society is changing towards that shared transportation. So Uber, Lyft, all those different things, I'd highly recommend investing in stock, just as all those other ones that they just talked about. All the other companies who are included in this. Let me see if I can find all the different companies. These are companies you'd probably want to invest in right here. Those three. So they're the ones who are in the forefront right here. And this individual, I don't know who this individual is. Maybe his name shows up. Ryan Johnson. So that individual right there, he's going to make a lot of money on this investment here. They're going to test it out in one of the hottest places, but also one of the driest places too, I do believe. Although they get those in the summertime, they get them monsoons and everything, right? I don't know what their weather has been like recently. If it's been extremely hot, or if they've actually had a cool down from all the rains recently, because I know we've had a lot of rains there. But let's continue listening.
Anti-car, they're just anti-everybody.
All right, let's back it up.
Arizona moved here because he liked this idea. So the idea is more that they're offering you other options because society is changing toward that shared transportation. They're not anti-car, they're just anti-everybody having a car, because in Arizona, it's something like there are 8 parking spaces for every car.
What do you do?
That? Probably not.
What do you do when your friends come over?
So when your friends come over, there is a parking lot.
Pretty soon you won't have any friends coming over because they're not going to want to be dealing with this. We already, we live in Albuquerque here where it's pretty sprawled out, far, but to get like from one edge of town to the other, it's only like a 20-minute, 30-minute drive. Like, if that, through traffic lights and all that, right? And people still with vehicles are so lazy, they won't even travel across town from like Rio Rancho into downtown Albuquerque or anything like that. Everyone here has already got a mindset of staying like in their little hubs, which is an interesting thing. And so Albuquerque, I know we are a smart grid city. There's a list of the 2030, the smart grid cities for 2030, where basically places have vowed to try to reduce their emissions by 30% by 2030. So that's where we're headed, guys. That's what the World Economic Forum, the Davos summit, what they go and they meet and they talk about is exactly how we are going to live as a global society now. We have become globalized already. That's the thing that people don't understand. What happened in the last 3 years with the COVID and everything is that they were able to then get a global leader, a global world leader in charge right now. And those are the World Economic Forum, the CDC, the WHO, and the UN. And these powers are basically going to be our new governing officials to tell us exactly what to do throughout the whole world. So World Economic Forum has been pushing for these 15-minute smart grid cities where you can get anywhere you need to within 15 minutes. So if you need to go shopping, you can walk there within 15 minutes, ride your bike, take a public transport, things like that. This place right here, I guess they're connected to the outside hub, so you can walk out, then grab the transit, right? They were saying that it was hooked up to the local transit here, right? So then they can just walk out and then ride then they can go from Tempe to Tucson and Phoenix and all the other different places at that point. So that's what's been going on for the last few years. I've been warning everyone about this New World Order. They're basically putting things into order, into place right now. And we have new orders, new rules to follow. And so that's where we're at right now. And if no one's welcomed you to the new world, let me be the first. I've been doing that for the last few years now, almost a decade, long before COVID and all that. I've been welcoming people to the new world for a while. But Let's
It's
continue
something
this.
like there are 8 parking spaces for every
Here, let's
car.
back
What
it
do
up
you
real
do?
quick. Hold on.
They're just anti everybody having a car, because in Arizona, it's something like there are 8 parking spaces for every car.
What do you
we hate
do?
that? Probably not.
What do you do when your friends come over?
You ain't got no friends.
So when your friends come over, there is a parking lot that is next to the
Yeah.
community where they can park, so they can go to the restaurant that's here, they can also go to the stores that are here. But nobody here in the complex has a parking space, a garage.
So they're
they
gonna
don't
try to
waste
bring
that
in
space.
outside
But, it's not
economy.
like you can't own a car, you just keep it somewhere else.
Let's go
But
visit
idea, again, is to
the carless
depend
city, guys,
on
and go ride a
community
bike over there.
transportation rather than using so many cars and
There's-
so much gasoline
I don't know.
and
This
so
is
many
weird.
emissions, might I say.
As you walk around this area, could you see yourself living there? In other words, are there sufficient dry cleaners, or for me, the coffee shop, the liquor store, whatever it is? So
Okay,
that-
my question: are there sufficient enough population in that little hub to actually drive these businesses without them going under? That was actually my question. Not are there enough businesses, because anyone can leave the grid, dude. You can leave the grid and go do whatever you need to do, but does the interior of this little area,
you could get
can they
by
generate enough
without
funds?
having to get in a car and go.
Can
to
the
a
businesses
grocery or a
get
Target
by?
or whatever?
That's the real question.
Well, honestly, you'd have to walk out of the community for certain services like that. There is a grocery store in the community, but what I ask is, people with kids, look, anybody who has kids, I had them, you are moober and doober when they're from middle school up until they get a license in high school. So I think it would be hard for families to live in a community like this because they have to drive to.
Yeah, but what did they test out during COVID? They made sure that everyone stayed home. We did all online schooling. They basically, that was a test to see, can it work? Will it work? And yes, it does work. And actually, I actually preferred it because I was able to be engaged with my child's learning and what the teachers were, how they were learning, how they were teaching them, how they were explaining things. And I'd be like, oh, this teacher's a little confusing. I get it. I understand why your grades are a little low in this class, and let me help you out through this. And so it was actually better for me. But I am one of a few individuals, right, that work at home, stay at home. I don't really leave too much. Like, this would be ideal for me and my wife. A stay-at-home place where everything is like within walking distance. For disabled individuals, such as my wife, where she can't really go too far or too many places, something like this would be ideal for us, where we don't go. But for those who love to travel the world, who love to go out and do things, you need a vehicle. You need to be able to get out and about, right? And then also, how soon is it that they're going to start building these other cities and other hubs? And then basically they're going to tell you, stay within your community because we need to generate the economy here and quit sending your money outside, right? So that's the other thing. Or how are individuals who maybe aren't business owners and other individuals such as myself, how would we then make enough money within the community? I can only sell glass to a few people a certain amount of times, and then it's done. I need the global community in order to reach out and sell things. So, that they will have to depend on e-commerce and things like that on the outside markets. I'll continue this.
Their kids to so many different places. So again, maybe this is more for young people, maybe it's more for retirees who aren't so car dependent. It's an
Online
experiment.
schooling
Is the whole country gonna go this way? Probably not.
would
But it
eliminate
could
the
work
need
a
for
lot of people.
schools, buses, any sort of transportation to
If
school.
you've ever been to the villages, though, you see that
And maybe you would then have a centralized hub, a learning center where all the children would just go throughout the day in that region, and they just hang out to actually socialize and have community. I find a few things
there,
of
what
this
they do
is
is everybody's got their golf cart and they're using
pretty
their golf
good,
paths,
right?
And it's maybe not
But then
walkable,
again,
but it's rideable and
are they going to trap us into these 15-minute cities? That's the thing that worries me. I don't like to feel trapped and caged in. I don't want to be caged in. If I like I said, this would work out for me and my wife because of our situation and our living. But if we ever wanted to go and travel or leave the hub, I think eventually, very soon, you won't be allowed to leave, or you'll have to have certain requirements. You'll have to have certain passports or ways to leave these little hubs, and that's reaching very far in a very far dystopian future, which actually isn't too far off with how quick things are rolling right now. So the way I see it, this could eventually lead us into where we're, yeah, it's cool. You got a little city you can stay in, but eventually, what if it's you have to stay in your little city? You can't leave. There'll be checkpoints and all the way around. We're gonna keep you in this little dome, this little area here. So that's the only thing that concerns me. But I do see that yeah, it sounds like it could be like a gated community, right? But what if then you have armed guards at the gates instead of just a passcode for you to just drive in and drive out? Or, well, I guess you're not driving in and driving out of here, you're walking in and walking out. What if you then have to be like, okay, well, you can't number one, you can't live here unless you're fully jabbed, possibly. You have to make sure that you're following all the boosters coming in. You have to do this, you have to do that. Like, I don't know what sort of rules and things that people are going to have to follow once they get in, right? Now, right now, there's no challenge to get in and get out. I'm just saying, in the dystopian future of where we're headed, and with the whole globalization and global control, and how they want to keep us stuck in these cities. And also, you got to remember, Chile is on fire. Lahaina just burnt down. West Maui is about to get taken through eminent domain. We know about the Jump Smart Maui project, which is a 15-minute smart grid city that they're building. The Jump, JUMP, stands for Japan United States Maui Project. So it's Jump Smart Maui Project. And so there's going to be a collaboration between Japan and the U.S. building a smart grid city out there in Lahaina. And they are creating a new, I will guess it as the Maui Recovery or Rebuilding Authority, something like that. And it'll be a 9-member board of directors, and these individuals are basically going to be telling people what they can and can't do, and they're going to relocate everyone through bonds, through U.S. bonds, which the landowners, homeowners won't be able to cash in for at least 10 years. That's happening right now in Lahaina. They're passing a bill. I just did a live, yesterday, I think, on that. I believe it was yesterday morning, so check out the live stream on that with what's going on in Lahaina and with West Maui. They're taking all of West Maui, guys. So these are things that are happening. They're taking the cities through eminent domain. East Palestine, Ohio, what's going to happen there? Like, all these places that need to be rebuilt, the CDC, WHO, they're going to come in and they're going to deem them unfit to live, unsafe to live. And such as Lahaina, they're saying that all the ashes need to be moved. They're moving it over to another location, which then they're going to move it to a third location. So there's 3 contaminated areas now that they can then say, oh, all 3 of these areas are no longer safe and they're unfit to live, and we now take them through eminent domain. And that's what CDC, WHO, the UN all has power and authority to do so now. And this new committee, the rebuilding, the whatever Maui Rebuild Authority, is going to come in. They're going to give bonds to all the homeowners. They're going to relocate them off of West Maui. They're going to take over all of Maui. Is that where West Maui, is that where Oprah is? Is that where Zuckerberg or any of those elites are, is on West Maui? We should look at that map once again. Let's allow them to finish here real quick. I'm going to just back it up just a little bit.
And they're using golf paths, and it's maybe not walkable, but it's rideable in a little mini electric vehicle. It's very interesting. It works there.
I took a vacation to Bald Head Island in North Carolina. The same way, no cars, golf carts. You biked, you carted around. It's cool.
See?
I feel like
So people think it's cool, guys. So check it out and look at America's first car-free city. So this is America's first car-free city, guys. So that's what we got. Sorry, I just woke up, so my hair is all crazy. But that's what I have to say about this is we're moving into this new the Great Reset is what the World Economic Forum has been talking about for a really long time, and they're going to basically force this upon us, whether we like it or not. And they're using our own tax dollars to build all this up without our permission or without our vote or without any of our decision making. This is happening whether we like it or not. So, yeah, that's what's going on. I don't know what else. Let me see. Let me check out these live comments and stuff here. The chat. Uh-oh. Did the chat go away? Oh, there it is. That sounds similar to the war bonds back from World War II. Yeah, so they can't, apparently on the video that I shared yesterday about it, Brush Junkie, she talks about it. She goes into detail with it, and she shares another video of an individual who is talking about it. And she's saying how they won't be able to cash them for at least 10 years. So that means they're going to relocate individuals and basically make them unhoused, right? They're going to put them all on the streets pretty much and be like, hey, you got bonds you can cash out in 10 years. And like, well, what are we supposed to do for the next 10 years? You know, people don't even know if they're going to survive for the next 2 or 3 years if they got jabbed or not, you know, with what we've seen in all the experiments and the pre-trials of what was going on, that a lot of people didn't look deep enough to find that information. We knew that in the pre-trials that there were fatalities. We knew that there were a lot of people succumbing to heart issues. I mean, everyone saw what happened to Tiffany Dover on live TV, and then they still went and they did it, right? Everyone saw what happened to Tiffany Dover, you know, and then they tried to bring in a body double, and they try to bring in another individual, to an actor, right? They bring in these these red flag event actors, right? These individuals, you know, I've actually I work as a background actor. Here in New Mexico, we have a lot of filming and stuff, and I've actually seen some of the listing on how much you get paid to become one of these actors, where you basically get painted up in, you know, they cover you in blood, different makeup, you know, special effects, you know, Hollywood effects, and then they put you on a stretcher or something like that, and they're like, okay, pretend like you got hurt, and we're gonna do a bomb scene here, and we're gonna just film this. And yeah, like, I've been in all kinds of crazy filming, you know, where in what's that show, The Night Shift, with the doctors and everything. And there was one show, I think it was season, oh, I don't remember now. Was it season 3, episode 7? Maybe. It was the one where there was a concert in the park, band was up on stage, and then something went off, fireworks, there was an issue with the fireworks, and then people got injured, and there were people running and fleeing. And you can see me all in slow motion running through. At that time, I had dreadlocks, and so my hair was in a Rasta tam. My hair was up in like a beat it, or not a beat it, a knitted beanie, basically a big old beanie, and my hair was up in it. And you can see me running through with my glasses on, all slow motion. And so, you know, they make all these scenes and stuff where they make them look real. You know, while we're on scene, like, it looks like that person is really hurt. He's really injured, and he's just sitting there with you eating lunch, and you're like, dude, whoa, you need to go to the doctor. And we always joke while we're on set and stuff like that, you know, like, whoa, man, you really need to go to the doctor, man. But as far as I went off somewhere. I don't know what were we talking about. We were talking about the smart grid cities and stuff, and I'm talking about all these other different events and how they can create stuff. I don't know where we went with all that, but I'm seeing a lot of this stuff happening in these false flags and these different events, and how basically they're getting people corralled through fear. And they're getting people into where they just, this whole thing it's the globalization of everyone right now, and how, like all the different powers, right? We got people in Canada. I was gonna say Canada. In Canada, they got the prime minister, and everyone's against that individual, right? And here in America, we've got Biden, who it seems like he's just allowing people to come. He's not doing his job, and he's stumbling around. He's falling down. Like it seems like they've purposefully allowed for the local governance of different areas, nations, countries, or whatever, to have these individuals that have come into power kind of like relinquish their power, or not utilize it in the right or the proper ways for the people, and allow for their local government to basically collapse right now. And so I think that's what's happening, is that this government is collapsing, so the new world globalization governance can come in. And that's what all these smart grid cities are about: getting people off of certain areas, removing them through the directed energy devices, which we manufacture here in Albuquerque. They are real. We know that dues are real. We know that they exist. White Sands Missile Range talks about it on their YouTube channel. The White Sands Missile Range, check it out. White Sands Missile Range. Look at the YouTube channel. Find the video. The video of it's called Directed Energy Experiments, and they talk about how they used a microwave to then send a microwave beam onto the target, right? And they hit it with the microwave, and then they zap it with the laser, and pew, it's gone. So they can basically microwave things and then zap them, heat things up, and then let them catch fire. That's why metal burnt while trees were still all around, because they zapped the metal. What happens when you put metal in a microwave, right? So that's all they did, and then they laser beamed that metal in the microwave. They microwaved the area, and then they laser beamed it and zapped certain things. And for some reason, blue, the color blue, doesn't work properly with lasers unless you amp up the power. We were watching a video. I have a video up on the Maui Fires playlist where they have pencils, regular. A pencil. And on the pencils, they got those little logos or whatever they put on there, right? Apparently, these are laser etched on sometimes. Or there are individuals who they get laser burners, laser engravers, and they put those in the pencils. And for some reason, there's a video where a girl is saying that she's been having issues with blue laser or with blue colored pencils, and that the laser doesn't burn into them correctly. So for her to correct that, she had to simply bring up the power on her little home laser pencil device, right? It's like a simple 5 watt or 15 watt or 50. I don't know how powerful it is, but all you have to do is up the amperage, up the power, and you have a bigger laser, and it could burn through the blue. So they could just up the amplify the amperage is all, the frequency, the power. So yeah, all this stuff is happening, guys. They're taking cities down and they're creating these smart cities, but they're gonna bring it to us like, hey, this is a really cool thing. This is a really cool thing. That's how that news story just left us. That guy said, oh yeah, well, I also went and I visited this place here, and everyone travels on their golf carts, and it's a cool thing. So they want to push that having no vehicles is a cool thing, that you having to get an Uber all the time is a cool thing. And maybe it's better, but can we trust the drivers that we're getting into the car with? Like, we don't even know these drivers and their driving history and how many accidents they've ever been in. Does Uber even give you any of that kind of information, any of their driving background history or anything? Like, I think we should have access to that and know, like, hey, you have 0% accidents in your whole driving history, and you've been driving for 40 years, you're a good driver. You're 20 years old and you've already had 6 accidents. Like, I don't want you as an Uber driver, right? So we have to remember all these things too. Like, yeah, it's all cool and everything, but when you really look into what's going on with all of it, what's really going on with all of it? And why are they taking away things, and this whole push for you will own nothing and you will be happy? Because they will own everything and they will be happier. You see how that works? The billionaires got all of our tax dollars, and we keep on giving it to them freely. Here, have my hard-earned money here, and continue building things that we never voted upon, right? And keep on bringing in people that we didn't vote in, so they can continue to work towards this whole entire smart grid planet that we're moving towards right now. Elon Musk is all of the forefront. He's helping with all these vehicles. What just happened recently? Tesla just had a recall on all their vehicles. The Tesla stock just crashed, right? But you got to remember, did they do that on purpose? Because when things crash, that's the best time to buy, so they can make a few more billion as it goes back up. You got to remember how stocks work. And Wesley, you said your son, you're going to be telling him about the stocks and stuff. Yeah, there will be another drop, like we had the other day with AT&T and Verizon, and all of the data drop and everything. And I don't know what happened. There could have been a data breach, and there could have been software uploaded to all y'all's phones. And everyone who has a bank account now, all your bank accounts funds might be getting seized through one of the biggest seizures that may happen soon, through what just happened the other day with the whole blaming it on solar flares. All the phones go down and devices go down for a few hours, and they blame it on AT&T blames it on coding issues and their servers and things like that. And yeah, who's to say really what happened, except people saw coding go into their phones at 4 a.m. There were also some weird warnings of this is a public service announcement. Like, it was like a warning through the bullhorns, because people weren't getting their warnings on the phone, and this was recorded. So in different areas, people had different things going on with how it was dealt with. And some people didn't even know it even happened. And some people's phones didn't even get the download on that code that was put in. Whatever was installed into your guys' phones, I believe it's now tracking all of your bank information and stuff. And that's at least what people were saying. I don't know. I'm just a glassblower, guys. I'm just a glassblower who thinks too much and says way too much. Shares way too much. I'm just a glassblower. That's all. So I thank you for joining me here at the Glassman's World. What do you guys think about this Tempe, Arizona smart grid city that they're putting in, where no one owns vehicles? If you go in there to rent, there is no garage and there is no parking spaces. You will have no vehicle. You'll have to have a bicycle. I have a bike. I ride a bike. Do you guys ride bikes? I love riding my bike around town. I use public transportation already. Like I said, a little smart grid hub city like that would work for me and my wife, as long as they had the proper, she needs certain doctors. She needs certain specialists. She needs hospitals from time to time, right? So if they have all of that in play, then it can work. Maybe there'll be like little hubs, right? Like I live in hub A, and there's like all the way through hub G, and hub A through G, maybe you all go through hospital A over here, hospital number 1, right? A through G goes through to hospital number 1, and all of like H through O goes to like hospital number 2, and everyone P through Z goes to hospital number 3, something like that, right? Because we do have different hospital facilities in the regions, and I can see how they can then build a hub or hubs around those areas. And then I can also see how our city, the Q, and we got a green Q, the Q city, the green city, the Q, we're like right on Q with the smart grid technologies we're bringing out. We are the only city right now in the nation that's offering free public transit. Anyone can get on the bus and ride for free. Anyone, anywhere here in Albuquerque. You jump on a bus, you ride for free. It's been like this for 3 years now, ever since COVID. They stopped taking fares. Before we'd pay it was like $1 a ride and $3 if you wanted to get transfers, at least one transfer or something like that, so you can get there and back. And then you could get a day pass for like, I think it was like a $3 or $5 day pass, a $10 for the week pass, and then it was like $30 for the month for the gold pass, and then you could ride anytime, all the time, for $30 a month. They eliminated the cost, started doing it for free. They now just brought in these electric buses, so apparently we are moving forward for the smart grid city. We got a ton of electric buses, guys. Albuquerque is moving towards this whole smart grid city without anyone realizing it. Like I said, if you invest in stocks, I don't, because I don't have a bank account. So I can't even move money from a bank account into the stock market exchange. So I don't play this game, guys. Like, I decided to flip the chessboard over a long time ago. I don't play this game. Like, I'm here sharing you guys information and all this stuff. But I live my life in a whole completely different way than most others do. I'm a devotee of Krishna. You know, most people follow Jesus. I know that Jesus actually went and followed Krishna, and then everyone started following Jesus because Jesus had the Krishna consciousness within him, which then became Christ consciousness. So Krishna consciousness, Christ consciousness, all the same. So I live in a whole different paradigm and in a whole different way than most others do. But like I said, I could easily just morph into what a smart grid city is. I could also just easily morph into living off grid. You know, I could live in an ashram, you know, and be just perfectly fine living at the temple. Like, you know, I live in a way where I already know that nothing belongs to me because it all belongs to Creator. So my whole thing on we own nothing and we'll be happy is already there for me in my heart, because I already know that these things that I have in my possessions, whatever these things are all around me, it's just for me to have responsibility for the time being while I'm here and while it's in my possession. Once it's out of my possession, or once I'm gone from this planet, I no longer am responsible of any of these things. Nothing is ours, it all belongs to Creator. And so that's the thing for me, is I can easily just morph right into the smart grid cities and not worry about it too much, because I already know that when I need access to all things, then it's all Krishna's, or it's all God's, it's all Creators, and I have access because I am working for Creator. So, you know, what I was taught is that there's a lot of money in the world, and it all belongs to us for us to put it into service. And it's just being held in everyone else's pockets. And once we need access to it, we figure out how to gain access into individuals' pockets or checks or their bank accounts, and we figure out how we can extract our money to then put it into devotional service. And that's how I work in my paradigm. I already know that we own nothing and we can be happy. But people need to have material possession. They need to like be able to, this is mine. This is my blue lighter, not your blue lighter. Yours is pink, or yours is red, or, oh, you have a blue lighter? Oh, well, this one is mine. You know, and so that's the thing too, is I understand all the aspects of it. The smart grid city, I don't like the fact that it feels like we can get caged in. I don't like that. I like the power of free will. I like, if I want to go and travel to India and visit over there, I don't want a smart grid city to block me in and lock me in, or the World Economic Forum, or UN, or WHO, or CDC telling me where I can and where I can't live, and or tell me that they're going to take my property through eminent domain, which, like, once again, is that mine? It all Creator. So if you put it through in service to Creator, maybe Creator will help you protect it a little bit better, right? So you can keep it a little bit better. If you're protecting it for Krishna, or protecting it for Creator, or for God, or protecting it for Jesus, protecting it for whoever, then you should get that protection back, right? That's how it should work. And so these smart grid cities, to me, it's going to be a test of faith. It's going to be a test of community, common unity. Are people really going to love this? Are people going to really enjoy this or not? And what's going to happen with the money? And if they did just do something with the phones, and they're about to wipe everyone, and I don't know if they can do anything with the crypto, and they're positioning the Fed, the money, the Fed, they're positioning themselves to be able to turn this stuff right here into digital, into here. Then you just and then you have your little Neuralink and your smart chip put in your hand or whatever, and you don't even need devices. They're going to eliminate devices. Very soon, we're going to be living with the virtual reality headsets, and even beyond that, we're going to get those the contact lenses to where then you won't have phones, you won't have laptops, because you'll be working on virtual reality keyboards. You won't even need a keyboard, you won't need a mouse, you won't need anything. You simply think about it with the Neuralink, and bing, you go to whichever place you want to. You go to google.com, you go to here, to YouTube, start watching videos. I want to watch a video on Dan the Glassman and Glassman's World. Let's see what he's got to say. And boom, it just comes up. There's a screen here. And oh, I want a screen here and a screen here. And boom, there you go. The virtual reality is going to be crazy. Augmented reality is going to be crazy. The smart grid city stuff. They know that we basically just have to put on the headsets, right? We just get our little devices here, right? I got one somewhere here. So you get yourself your device, right? And you put that thing on, and then you're gone. Boom, gone for the day. Where'd I go? Oh, I'm in space. I'm floating with the cosmos. I'm no longer on the planet. And I couldn't even tell what I was doing. I had my phone all crazy. But yeah, so you can have virtual reality and just be completely gone. You don't have to leave anywhere. You don't need a car to travel anywhere. You can travel wherever you want. You want to go to Jupiter? You want to go to Mars? You want to go to inner Earth? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to where's the place where the movie Avatar is taking place? You want to go and live there in Avatar world? You can. You want to go live in Super Mario World? You can. You can go live in Minecraft, right? You can go live in all of them, right? All the ones that they got now. What are all the different places that people are living now in the metaverse, right? So we no longer need vehicles, guys, because we no longer need our legs. We're gonna be like that movie, one of my favorite movies, Wall-E. Wall-E. And so Wall-E shows us the future, the dystopian future, on how we can be so relaxed and so chill that we're in the chair, sitting all day in a chair, and we're just constantly with our screens in front of us, drinking our big old they don't even eat food anymore, right? Like they just drinking their meals, right? Like I'm drinking my breakfast while I'm watching my show, drinking breakfast, watching my show here. Yeah, it's cool. They don't even realize what's going on around them, and like once that lady gets knocked off, or the man, what happens? I think the man gets knocked off his chair, and then everything like gets disconnected, turns off, and he's like, "Whoa, we have a pool here." It's like didn't even realize that there's a swimming pool. No one's utilizing it, right? That's where we're headed to, guys. We're gonna be in a world where right now, we're already living in a world where, our 4-year-old's got a device, right? He wants to use a phone. We have to tell him now that not until later, not till, after dinner time and before bedtime, then you can be on your device where you can watch your little shows. He's got all kinds of shows, but at the same time, being that he's 4 years old with this device, he has learned so much. His vocabulary is like so beyond any other child that I'm like, holy cow, man, you're really smart. And he knows a lot of things. So this technology is advancing our generations as well. but it can also hinder, with relying on the smart technology, relying on all this smart grid city stuff. What happens if the power goes down? You're locked in your home because your thumbprint isn't going to work anymore, or your automatic door, as soon as you walk to it, doesn't open anymore. I don't know if you guys ever seen that show. I believe it was Black Mirror, where they did the episode where they were all happy and all in their smart grid city in their homes, and then everything shut down. They couldn't get out, and then the robots came in and they were basically going to like eliminate everyone or something like that. Crazy stuff. Check out Black Mirror on Netflix if you ain't checked it out yet. Um, Other than that, I don't really know what else to add to. I kind of went way far with this smart grid stuff because that's where we're headed with it. And so I'm just letting y'all know what I think about all this and where I am with my own mindset, with my own soul journey, and understanding that nothing is ours anyways, including this body, this vessel, including our own children. You know, when I lost a child, I had to actually learn that harsh reality that even our children aren't ours. And when Creator, when God, when Krishna calls them back, there's nothing we can do, no prayers we can say, nothing that can stop that from occurring. So I had to learn that harsh lesson that nothing is ours. We can't take anything with us. The only thing that we'll take with us are these memories that we take back to the Akashic records that we then share with the whole source, and that's about it. So if you're here on this planet now and you're full of love, well, that memory of it's going to go with you, of love. You know, if you're full of hate and anger and all that, that's going to go with you too. That's going to follow you too. And that's what you're going to be providing to the great source, to the Akashic records. So if that's the legacy that you want to take to the universe, by all means, God's given you the free will to do so, right? So, I don't know. With that being said, I understand that nothing's ours anyways. So they can take away our vehicles, they can take away whatever's. It doesn't matter. What's interesting is in the comments below, I was reading on the video, and one individual saying it's interesting how they're talking about how life is going to be so harsh and so changed when, like, 100 years ago, like a little over 100 years ago, we didn't even have vehicles, and we were all just like in horse-drawn buggies and carts, and using horses and using mule and using donkey and using whatever that you would use to get around. Bicycles came out, right? When was bicycles invented? In the 1800s, or was it sooner than that? But see, it's quite interesting on what's going on with all of this, the investments and everything that's happening. So if you want to make a lot of money right now, is the time. This is like the next industrial revolution. Early 1900s, they created the stock market. They created the billionaire tycoons through investments of certain new frontiers. They created, they had the paper industry come out, and they had all the chemicals that came out through DuPont, and they had to use the chemicals to create the paper pulp to break it down, and all the bleaches and everything to make the paper, so then they could send the paper off, so then they can have the news and the news media doing the newspapers and reporting all the news, right? And also the stock market, and making sure that everyone knew about the stock market, right? The New York Stock Exchange was printed, right? And the New York Times, and we still got the New York Times. And then the pharmaceutical companies came in, and still DuPont, all these other individuals came in. And then we had the drug czar that said, reefer madness, reefer madness, reefer madness, reefer madness. And basically took away their biggest competition, which was hemp, eradicated hemp, demonized it, called it the devil's weed, the devil's lettuce, whatever is going to make your young daughters become susceptible to issues with young black and Mexican gentlemen who are jazz players and things like that. And it created this crazy thing, this reefer madness campaign, the fear tactic, you know, mask, no mask, jab, no jab. Which side are you on? Red or blue, red or blue. You know, it's the same tactic. Divide and conquer, guys. And that's what they're doing. And they've created technology now. And now we're on a new forefront where there's new technology. And if you want to become a billionaire, you can right now. Now's the time. Start investing in all these things that are going to change our lives and change our future into the globalization. I don't think there's any stopping it because no one is standing up against this. There's no protesters anymore. Everyone is a bunch of everyone is complacent, comfortable, complacent, and a lot of Karens coming around, and a lot of these woke individuals who think that that being woke is the best thing, and that their way is the best way. And you know, I don't think they truly understand what they're pushing with these agendas that they think are their own agendas, but it's really just been planted. And so we're headed here. They figured out how to how to get rid of cars, guys. First day that Biden came in, he eliminated the Keystone XL pipeline, right? And 60,000 oil workers lost their jobs overnight. As soon as he came into office, 60,000 plus oil workers lost their jobs. I thought we were going to implement smart grid technology first, get the battery banks going so then you can harness all the power, store it. We don't have the storage capability or capacity for all of the solar. Everyone's like, get solar, get wind power. It's like, why? We need batteries, get battery storage first. If you don't have any way to store any of that electricity, then you're messed up. Like, everyone's all going over there, all the Teslas are going and they're driving to all these electric vehicle recharging stations. And all those recharging stations are getting their electricity from coal. So it's like electric vehicles still on coal. It ain't working like that, guys. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about all these smart grid cities, 15-minute hubs? What do you think about all this? Because we're moving here. This is what's happening. And unless we all come together, if this is something we want to stop, you know, like I said, to me, it don't matter. I can be a chameleon. And I can just move into what this is. And just as long as I keep God with me and keep Krishna with me and have my faith with me, it doesn't matter on what the material stuff is around me. That's the thing. But that's for me. And for others, you know, you may need that Maserati. You may need that Lamborghini. You may need that Humvee. You may need that electric bike, that electric skateboard, that scooter. You may need a wheelchair. You may need, like, whatever it is that you may need is completely different from what I need, right? So, just remember the marketing 101. You know, they're always going to do the sideways sell. They're always going to do the problem solution path. They're going to present the problem and they're going to be the solution. And if they create the problem, well, they're going to have the solution already in hand. That's how it works. So take away the cars, that's a problem. Well, here's the solution. 15-minute cities. You don't have to go anywhere now. See how that works? So, and also we don't need cars because we have a fuel crisis, right? And we can't be going to war over and over again for fuel all the time, over and over. So these could be good things and they could be bad things. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to let y'all go because I'm just going to keep rambling. All right. Love and blessings. We'll see you guys soon.